Hello students, today I am going to explain you Coulomb's law in vector form. As we have already discussed about Coulomb's law in detail, so today we are doing it in vector form. See, to consider in vector form, we need to take the position vectors, unit vectors and all. So see, here also let's consider 2 point charges Q1 and Q2. Right, the Q1 position vector of Q1 is R1 with respect to origin, and that of Q2 is R2, and F12 is the force on Q1 due to Q2. Right, 1 we are writing here means 2 is exerting force on 1. Similarly, see here, F21 is the force on Q2 due to Q1. So, and this AB is R12. See, it is from A to B, so it is R12 vector. Now, as we know the simple formula of Coulomb's law, F is equal to K Q1 Q2 upon R square. This I am taking here magnitude because this I am writing in simple form. Now, we will modify this formula in vector form. Right. So, K is a constant here whose value depends on medium. We know this. Now, as we can proceed here like R1 is equal to OA. See, look at this figure. Vector R1 is OA, and this is called position vector of charge Q1. And R2 is equal to OB. You can see from the figure. This is position vector of charge Q2. Right. Now, we have considered here AB. AB is equal to R12. And according to vector, we know that R12 is equal to vector R2 minus vector R1. Similarly, BA, we can have R21 is equal to R1 minus R2. Now, as we know the formula of unit vector of R is equal to vector R upon modulus of R. So, we can write here R12, unit vector of R12 is equal to R12 vector upon R12. Similarly, R21 is equal to R21 vector upon modulus of R21. Simple. Now, we have to write this formula in vector form. So, for that, let's consider F12 be the force on Q1 due to Q2. Right. Similarly, we can see here F21 is equal to, this is the force on Q2 due to Q1. Right. Now, we will simply write the formula of F12 and F21. So, we can write here F21 is equal to K Q1 Q2 upon AB square, because AB is the distance between these two. And to write it in vector form, we are using here unit vector, which will be R12. Right. So, F21 is equal to K Q1 Q2 upon AB. Value of AB is R12. So, it is R12 square and here R12 cap. Now, in the next step, we can convert the R12 cap in simple vectors. So, it is Q1 Q2 upon R12 cube R12 vector, because we are making use of this formula. R12 cap is equal to R12 vector upon R12. So, here it was already R12 square. So, it will be, and one more R12 will come here magnitude form. So, it is Q, and here it will be replaced by vector R12. So this formula is clear how it converted from square to cube and cap to vector. Right? We have just applied the formula of unit vector, nothing else. Now F21 is equal to K Q1 Q2 upon, put the value of R12. We know that it is R2 minus R1. This cube will be there and this is R12. Again we can put value of R12 also here. Now we can see that on the basis of this equation 1, we can easily write F12 just by replacing 1 by 2 everywhere. Interchange 1 and 2. So we can get the formula for F12. See, I am just making this formula from equation 1. See here. So it will be K Q1 Q2 upon R21 Q into R21 vector. Right? We have just replaced 2 by 1 and 1 by 2 everywhere. So it will be K Q1 Q2 upon, we can write here R12Q into minus R12. Why? Because magnitude of R12 is same as R21, but as such R21 is equal to minus R12. See, magnitudes of these two are same. So I can write here in place of R21, I can write here R12. Power is same. And in place of R21, because it is the magnitude, I cannot replace R21 by R12. There will be one minus sign. So now solve it. It will be minus K Q1 Q2 upon R12Q into R12 vector. Now what is this formula? See, this is same as this Q1 Q2 upon R12 cube R12 vector. What is the value of this? This is F21. So therefore F12 vector is equal to minus F21. This is the proof of vector form of Coulomb's law. Now from this last formula, what we can conclude? We can conclude the characteristics of Coulomb's force. First of all, look at the diagram. This is called a central force. Why? Because it acts along the line joining the centers of the two bodies. And second point, this is conservative force also, because the work done in taking a charge from one point to another in the electric field is independent of the path followed. The electrostatic force between the two charges obeys inverse square law. Why? Because it is inversely proportional to square of distance. So it follows inverse square law. And this force is, it obeys Newton's third law of motion. So force of action and reaction are equal and opposite. You can see from here, we have proved it. F12 is equal to minus F21. This is what Newton's third law. These all characteristics, all notes I will provide you. So don't worry, here it's important to understand. So it's clear how we have derived the Coulomb's law in vector form. The next term here to discuss is electric field. Before discussing about electric field, we should know about source charge and test charge. First of all, we will know that source charge may be positive or negative, and test charge is represented by Q naught. See why it is called source charge, because these charges plus or minus, positive or negative, they can produce electric field and they can exert some force, electrostatic force, on any other charge which is placed near to this charge. So it's now little easy to define electric field. It is the area around the charge where the influence of that charge can be experienced by test charge placed in the vicinity of that charge. Suppose plus Q charge is kept, so it is having some electric field around it. Now Q naught is placed near to it at the distance of r, then this Q naught is going to experience the electric force due to plus Q charge. Now the area in which this Q naught can experience the effect of the force exerted by source charge is called electric field. So it is that field where its influence can be experienced by the other charge. Now let's see that which type of field is produced by plus charge and by negative charge. See, if plus Q charge is there, then it is found that it is exerting force in outward directions, means away from the charge. So if any test charge Q naught is placed here, then it is going to repel it. This is the meaning. Now similarly here, if any charge Q naught is placed near to minus Q, then it is attracting that charge. So what will be the direction? It will be inward. So just remember, minus Q means inward sign, plus Q means away, outward sign, right? Now the important term is electric field intensity. Electric field intensity at any point is defined as the force experienced by unit positive charge placed at that point. Suppose Q naught is the charge placed at a distance of small r from plus Q charge. Then the electric field intensity at this point, here E, will be Fr upon Q naught, right? Or we can have more precise formula for this. It is ER is equal to limit Q naught tends to 0 Fr upon Q naught. See, Q naught tends to 0. Why we are taking? Because Q naught cannot be 0, because F upon 0 will be undefined. So electric field cannot be defined at that point. So for that purpose, we take limit Q naught tends to 0 Fr upon Q naught. So the formula is clear now. Definition formula. This is force per unit test charge. Now let's discuss its SI unit. So the SI unit is Newton per Coulomb. See, F for Newton and this is Coulomb. So what will be the unit? Newton per Coulomb is the SI unit of electric field intensity. And what is the direction of electric field intensity and which type of quantity is this? It is a vector quantity and its direction will be same as that of the direction of force. See, if force is outward, then electric field direction will also be outward. If it is towards the charge, it will also be towards the charge. Now there is very small derivation, electric field intensity due to a point charge Q naught. So again, see here, plus Q is the charge which is called source charge and Q naught is the any other charge kept at a distance of small r. Then according to Coulomb's force, the force will be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught upon r square when the charges are placed where? In vacuum. Why? Because we are taking here epsilon naught and epsilon naught is the permittivity of free space or vacuum. So to calculate the electric field intensity, we will apply this formula F upon Q naught. So 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught 0 epsilon naught Q naught upon r square into Q naught. Just put the value of F. Q naught will get cancelled. So what is left? E is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R square. Now from this formula, we can easily see that E is inversely proportional to R square. See this. Means if R is increased by 2, then electric field intensity will decrease by 4. If it is increased by 3, electric field intensity will decrease by 9. Now we can have the graph between E and R. It will be in this form because it is inversely proportional to square of distance. So remember this graph. Now we will study the electric field intensity due to system of charges. Suppose we have number of charges plus Q1 and we have to find the intensity at point O, and here we have another charge minus Q2, here we have plus Q3, then we have to find the total intensity at point O. So first let's find out the direction of electric field intensity due to plus Q1. See, it will be away from Q1, right? So this is the arrow. See, focus on these arrows. Once you have understood how we can take the direction of electric field intensity due to positive charge and negative charge, because these arrows are very important at every point in derivation. Also you have to tell the direction. So until you know the importance of putting the arrows, how can we very sure about it? So minus Q2 will be E2 towards it. See, this is away from Q1, so I am writing E1. Here it is towards, so arrow is like this, and here it is again plus Q3, so it will be E3. Now the total intensity at point O will be E1 plus E2 plus E3. Means we have to just add all these three. This is the formula. Don't put here minus E1 minus E2. No need to put. Just write here E is equal to E1 plus E2 plus E3. Now we have to understand the significance of electric field. Significance of electric field or electric field intensity. See, by just knowing the electric field intensity E at any point R, if we know the value of E at any point R, then we can easily calculate the magnitude and direction of the force experienced by any charge Q0 held at that point. Suppose, meaning is to say that if any charge Q0 is kept here at a distance of R, this is a point at a distance of R, and here one charge is placed which is Q0, then by knowing the electric field intensity or E, electric field, we can easily calculate the force Fr exerted by this charge Q on Q0. This is the significance, or we can say the importance. See, if we know the electric field intensity at this point at a distance R where Q0 is placed, then we can easily find out the force, and we can also find the direction of force because direction of E and F are same. Thank you so much.